Alright, hello everyone. I am going to be making probably not the best tutorial, but a tutorial on making Beat Saber custom avatars. Um, so I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to follow along. I'm not the best of teachers, but we'll see what happens. Any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I can answer them. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first thing you'll need, definitely download latest version of Blender. It doesn't really matter what version, but any version of Blender. If you already have it, there you go. Next you'll need Unity version of 2018 1.6 right there. You will need this specific version. So just go ahead and download that, use the Unity installer, there you go. If you have multiple Unity versions, as you can see I've like renamed each of the folders here for each Unity version I have. So go ahead and do that. And then next, those are the two programs you'll need. Only two that you'll really need. But Unity of the assets that you'll need. Now I go here to, this is an outdated tutorial, but I go down to get the Saber Mesh. This is helpful for when you're trying to position these sabers. And then last thing we'll need is the actual custom avatar assets. So in here, the assistance guide to full body avatars. Yep. Okay, here we go. Avatar mod. So we open this up, gives you the custom avatar assets. So let me save that. I've got a lot of folders, lots of folders. Yeah, I'm gonna override mine just so I know I have the latest. And there we go. That should be everything, so we can get started. We're gonna start by opening your Unity version 1.6. So go ahead and create new project. Name it. Go ahead and name it whatever you want. Maybe like Beat Saber models or whatever. Save it to a specific location. I already have one. That's what I'm going to use. So once you've created that, you can open it. Okay. So now mine's open. Let me switch to my model. There we go. So I'm going to be importing this model to Beat Saber so I can use it. What we're going to do first, go to where you saved all your the assets that you just downloaded. So like in here. So take the custom avatar zip, extract that. And you would get these files and folders. This is what goes into the Beat Saber installation folder. And this is what you use to throw into your main project folder. Mine's empty right now because I already dragged it in. Then you also want the Saber Mesh. Mine's is already extracted. You throw this into your assets folder. Now, I don't know what you have with your model, but go ahead and import your model into Beat Saber. If you already have stuff like dynamic bones or multiple meshes, try to see if you can like import that as a prefab, or maybe you already have a scene file. Just try to make it easier on yourself, because in the case of dynamic bones you will have to remake them, because the dynamic bone like actual asset doesn't work in Beat Saber. You have to use the dynamic bone asset that comes with the mod. You can see it here. So anyway, once you've gotten your avatar put into the scene, we're going to go ahead and start scaling it. So we're going to scale it to your own personal height. Now I'm 6'1", so that is 73 inches. Makes me 1.8542 meters. Cool. Copy that and go ahead and go back into Unity. So you're going to create a 3D object, create a cube. Make sure he's center in the world, or the whatever you want to call this. I'll just call it the world. And scale his X to like point. Don't scale the X, my bad. Scale the Z to like 0.1, so you can see your own model. And then take the Y, paste in your height in meters. And go ahead and position this right under your model's feet. It's probably an easier way to do this. I'm not the best with Unity, so this is the best. This is just the best way I know how. And that's good enough. Okay. So now that you have a height going, take your model and just scale it to match the height here. So the top of your model's head is about here, goes up here. Yeah, that should do. Okay. So now you have your scale. Just go ahead and turn the cube off. We won't need it anymore. Or delete it. Doesn't matter. Now quickly make sure you save your scene just in case anything happens. You don't want to lose your progress. So now, go ahead and create an empty object, not under the cube, and name it your model. I'm just gonna call it blonde. Whatever your model's name is, mine's fixed, but let me rename that. Just make it the same name. Now inside that, make sure it's at 0, 0, by the way. Make sure everything's at 0, 0. Create another 3 empty objects. Actually, no, 4. 4 empty objects. And you're going to name them as such. Head, if I can spell it right. Body. Left hand. And right hand. So now they have to be named exactly this. Capital H on head, capital B on body, capital LH and RH on left hand, right hand. No spaces, no underscores. Exactly that. Or else it just doesn't work on you. Make sure they're all 0, 0. And now we're going to position the head up at the head. Position myself. See, I kind of do it like some people say put it right at the nose. I kind of do it like right at the eyes, maybe a little bit under that. Just put it right about there. This is mostly where your view position is. Next up, body. That stays exactly where it is at 0, 0. Left hand. Just pull that up, move it over to your left hand. We'll position that later. Same with the right hand. Now that you've done that, we can go ahead and drag a model into its parent. And there we go. So we're going to make a couple targets. Find armature, hips, spine, chest, neck, head. Under head, create a new empty object and rename it to head target. Now go ahead and pull that up, put it on head. Now you can do the same thing with your arms. So find left shoulder, left arm, left elbow, left wrist. Create an empty object inside the wrist. We're doing left hand, so left hand target. Go, and now do the same thing with the right arm. There we go. So now go ahead and move those up. Left hand target to left hand, right hand target to right hand. Now, we'll leave them there for the time being, but the targets have to say exactly where they are in terms of the model. So if you ever need to scale the model or reposition these guys, take the target out, just stick it somewhere else. Then you can reposition this all you want and then put it back in. Just remember that these need to stay exactly where they're at. Try not to move them. So we got a good start into Unity. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Blender. So open up your Blender. What we're going to do, this is optional, but it's honestly a preferred thing to do. Go ahead and hit A twice and delete. Get rid of all of the random stuff in the scene. So now, I guess I should have said, make sure you have Cats plugin. I'll put a link to Cats down in the description, but this will be helpful to splitting the meshes and all that, because that's what we're going to do. So go ahead and input your FBX file or whatever file you use. So here's mine. Obviously this tutorial is assuming you know how to do this stuff. Or assuming you know how to use these programs. If you need a tutorial on that, I would say go somewhere else. Now go ahead, this is pretty easy. Go to model options and separate by material. So now you should have, well, I have quite a few things. What you can do, go ahead and select the armature. Yeah, okay. Hit H to hide that, and then hit Z to get a wireframe. This will allow you to select everything in an area. Hit B and select your entire head. Maybe those slightly above the neck. Okay, what happened here? I shouldn't have everything selected. There we go. Okay. That was weird. But yes, go ahead and just hit B, drag, select everything on the head, and try to make sure you have everything. Yeah, looks like I do. So hit join mesh selected. Boom, there you go. You will have to re-hide the armature, and then go ahead to hide your new head mesh, and then just select everything, hitting A, and join these meshes. So now you should have only two meshes. So take your head mesh, go ahead and rename that to something a little more easy to understand. I like to do body_head. That just works. Then we can go ahead. First, save a Blender file, that way you have it. In case anything happens, you need to redo it. I think right here. Let's go ahead and name it whatever. Next, you're going to export your FBX. So I'm going to just name it something different from the original FBX. This way you can have a backup in case you've messed anything up. You can easily just put the old one back in and try again. It's always good to have a backup. Okay, inside your assets folder, Unity's doing its thing. I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy of that. We'll name it fixed backup. Delete the old one, and now rename the one we saved to the original FBX file's name. So then open Unity. It'll update itself. Okay. Let me just fix that. This might have actually been good to do earlier, is the shaders, but I forgot about that. Maybe go ahead and do the shaders first before you go into Blender. I will tell you about it now. When you input your model, it's probably going to look weird. It's going to use different shaders. Or like, I don't know, it will look weird. What you're going to have to do is go through each of your shaders, find the file it uses by clicking on the image. Unity will show you where it is. Change the shader to one of the Beat Saber shaders. I like to do unlit glow. Lit glows. Sometimes it looks weird. Sometimes it doesn't like that. And then just drag the texture back in. And you do that for every single material. If you already split the mesh, make sure you check both meshes. But you will need to use these shaders, or else it'll just look black in game. I would say test around with the other shaders, but honestly, none of them really look that great. Like metallic is weird, unless you want something weird like that. Or, I don't know. Most of the time, if you're doing an anime model, unlit glow works. In certain cases where you have transparency, such as my eyebrows, use the cutout dithered unlit glow. So I use normal unlit glow. Yeah, you get that. It's weird. So now go ahead and select your model in the hierarchy, not the topmost object, but your model. You're going to add 3 components. So go ahead and search IK. You're going to add the advanced IK manager, not the other one, and the VRIK. And then go ahead and add a third. You're going to search for first person exclusion and add that. We'll go ahead and do this one now. Set the exclude size to 1, hit enter, and now take your body underscore head, drag that into the element 0. What this will do is, in your first person view, while you're in game, you can see your model, but it will hide the head model. Now, one more component to add. Go into, this time it's the top hierarchy, this very top one. Add an avatar descriptor. This is where you'll put the avatar name. I just did Control B, whoops. Put the avatar name and then author name. It's just going to be your name. Put that in there. And there you go. It's now time for the hard part. Well, it's not hard, it's just tedious. Go ahead and open your left hand and right hand. Pull the targets out. So we'll move them and look for your Saber Mesh. Drop those into your hands. What the hell? Okay, I think I just realized my mistake. It's because we create the game object inside the cube. Just when you create your game object, make sure everything's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Make sure it's just exactly that. And when you make your head targets, make sure they're zeroed out under their respective object. So back to what we were doing. Huzzah, it actually works. Yeah, it works. There we go. Perfect. Scale your saber, x 0.5, y 0.5. And now, like I said before, go ahead and position the saber about there. And then do 10-degree rotation. For the right hand, it's positive. Left hand, it's negative. Both Y and Z. We're going to do a 60-degree rotation for the Z. Actually, I actually might do a little bit less of a rotation. General idea here is to get this green line in line with your arm. So I'm going to do somewhat less. And if you find positions wrong, just play around with this rotation. Then now we're going to start playing around with the fingers. So this part I'm mostly going to skip. It's like takes up a lot of your time. This light is in my way. But general idea is just to bend the fingers around the saber, move it around the saber, and reposition the saber as you need it. Make sure it looks nice. Make sure your hand grips the saber well. General recommendation, leave a bit of a gap when you do that. Don't have a tight death grip over this saber because some of the sabers are a little bit bigger in the game. And we'll come back when I finish this. It's going to take me a while. Alright, so it's been a few days. Yeah, I had a lot of other stuff to do, so it took me a while to get around to finishing this. But we have the fingers gripping the sabers. So that should be good to go. Now, because it's been a while, I forget where I left off. Okay, so we're done with the sabers. So we can go ahead and delete them. And then throw our targets back into the hands. Let me make sure where else we're at. So we have our exclusions. Have we done the solver yet? No, so that's the next thing to do. So inside IK Manager Advanced, the first three targets, it's head, left hand, right hand. Same with the solver, you're going to go to spine, throw a head target in, go to left arm, left hand target, and right arm, right hand target. That's about it. And if there's nothing else we need to do, we can go ahead and do a test. So now that we have everything, we can go ahead and do a quick test. Make sure you save. Hit this play button. And take the head and move that around. Haha, there we go. Legs are bending correctly. So that's pretty good. Now, if you ever have a problem with the knees... Hold on. Okay, if you ever have a problem with the knees bending weird, like they're bending in on each other, go into your IK Manager Advanced, scroll down till you find the left and right leg setting stuff, and take your swivel offset. I think left should be negative. You can experiment 16, 32, depending on how much the legs are acting weird. And then, yeah, right leg is positive. And then that should fix your problems. It should actually look weird for me, since mine's fine. Yeah, you can see how my legs are now bending outward. That's how it's adjusting the legs, how they bend. So I'm going to reset mine back to 0. If you ever have a problem, you can use that. And since I don't, I think we're good to go. No other issues. All we need to do is make sure everything is saved. I'm going to go ahead and go to Window, Avatar Exporter. Make sure all this is correct, and hit Export. Find a location to put it. I will put it here. And as soon as it says it's done, there we go. Now, if you ever need to re-export the model, go into where you saved it originally and delete the old one. It will not overwrite the avatar that's already in there, so make sure you delete it before you export again. I don't need to delete it, so we can put that back. Now with our new avatar, just go ahead and go into your Steam library, find Beat Saber, go to Custom Avatars, and throw that bad boy in there. So now let me switch over to Beat Saber and see if this works. Okay, small amendment I'm going to do here before I show you the finished model. I forgot to talk about the dynamic bones. So, I said this earlier in the tutorial. The dynamic bone asset, you can't use that. You have to use what's inside the mod. So if you ever find the dynamic bone asset here on the left, just delete it. You'll still be able to use your bones, but you will have to remake them. There's no way you can just like copy them, I don't think. There might be a way. Easy thing I found is just take a screenshot, save it somewhere, and you can just easily copy it over. But I will just show you. I will put a dynamic bone on the leg ribbon. As you can see, I already searched it, but just DY, you'll find it. You got the gliders and the bones. They work the same. Just throw whatever you want in there. I'm not going to go over this because, honestly, I still don't even know how to use these things. Mostly people just say play around with it, so I'll say the same thing. Play around with the settings, figure out what works. I'm not going to keep it because, honestly, I hate working with these things. But yeah, that's adding dynamic bones. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start here. As you can see, I am currently as Brix's avatar. So to get to your avatar, if you already have like a couple avatars in that folder, go ahead and hit page up or page down. It should switch between them. There's oatmeals, there's zeros, there's mine. Alright, so everything looks good. The legs, they do their weird thing. There's not much you can really do about that. That's just Beat Saber. The hands look pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I could probably have done better. The thumb on this one doesn't look so good. Actually, both of these don't really look so good. I could have done better. I might go in and fix it, but otherwise it works pretty well. We've got saber rotation we've got the sabers positioned in the hands right, so that's pretty good. Eye level, yep, that works. I don't have dynamic bones, I don't plan to have that on there, but let's sleeves shouldn't get in the way too much. Let's go ahead and test with a song, why not? Alright, anyway, yeah, I think we're good. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, I'll answer them. Most likely you couldn't follow too well, so definitely tell me, hey, can you explain this again? I'll see if I can explain it better. But yeah, there we go. That is how we get your VRChat avatar into Beat Saber. Pretty easy.